Alright guys, so it's been a while. It's been pretty busy, so well, it's just with big jobs and stuff, but this one I am changing the torque converter on this 6-speed transmission on this Honda Pilot here. I'm gonna do this a little bit different. I think I'm gonna try a different way, but I think what Honda wants you to do is they got you some hangers to hang the engine up, and then they just go onto there and then on the other side of the strut and just support it that way. But I think I'm going to try dropping the whole engine and transmission with the subframe all in one go, and then just cherry pick the tranny out of the thing, and then change the torque converter, stick it back in, and then drop the car back on here. So yeah, see how it goes. I've already removed like the battery, a couple of things around here, the intake, disconnect some harnesses. Like this thing can just go with the engine because it's part of this whole harness. And then over here, all the harness just plugs into this computer over here, right? And I can just disconnect the cable in the fuse box, and that can go with the engine when it comes out. I'm gonna have to suck out the AC, right? And then yeah, there's the lines at the bottom. I can disconnect it from the bottom, which is easy. And I feel like that's going to be a lot easier than struggling with these engine mounts in the front and the back, and then trying to struggle with this transmission, because this one's pretty heavy. I don't know, I feel like the 6-speed is really heavy. But yeah, I'm going to try it that way, but a little different. So I'm going to drain the coolant, drain the tranny, suck up the AC, and yeah, and then start removing stuff underneath. So yeah, just looking at it, I convinced myself that I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to drop the whole engine and transmission with the subframe, and yeah, so committing. I'm sucking out the AC right now, or recovering the AC, and yeah. So once I've done that, I think I am going to deal with everything underneath, the underbody covering, suspension, exhaust, and drive shaft, transfer case, stuff like that. And then yeah, we'll see how it goes. So my harnesses are disconnected from the fuse box, from the computer, and they just all attached to the engine. So on that side, on this side, just flop it over the engine here. And yeah, we're gonna go underneath. I'm gonna start removing some stuff, underbody covers, exhaust, drive shaft, suspension, stuff like that, and then yeah, see where we're at. So I'm just draining the tranny fluid and also the coolant right now. But the list of things to do right now is there's this harness that attaches itself to the subframe. Gotta get that off. Suspension, remove that, drive shaft, torque converter bolts in there. I already got the drive shaft out. It's just sitting on the floor, and a bunch of other stuff that I removed. The exhaust, get the exhaust out. I think I'm gonna take the whole thing out because these bolts are I don't think I'm gonna touch those. Just remove the whole exhaust entirely, and then remove this transfer case. It just unbolts after I take this exhaust out. So yeah, those are the list of things to do. Also, there's also a harness here for right here, right? Disconnect that, and yeah, see how this goes. All right, so everything's been removed. Took off the suspension, control arms, sway bars. Took out the drive shaft. Same thing on this side, suspension off. Took the exhaust off. I even took the torque converter bolts out, and then a couple of these bottom bolts just in case I can't get at them once I have it on the table, right? And yeah, now I'm gonna go on top. And yeah, start disconnecting the hoses, because I didn't want anything to drip on my head while I was working on under here. So all that stuff is just sitting on the floor over there now. All right, so back up here, I'm going to start taking the coolant lines, radiator hoses, vacuum lines, heater core hoses, fuel line. I already took off the shifter cable. I just kind of swung it around and put it back there, right here, right? And then what else do I need to do? I think I can leave that tray there. I'm not sure. Probably doesn't affect it. I think there's one more ground cable down there, and then just this one engine mount. And yeah, I think I'm pretty close to just dropping this whole entire thing out of the bottom. So yeah, see how it goes. So if you're wondering if you can take the engine and tranny out at the same time on a Honda Pilot, you can. I think it's a lot easier than struggling with it in the car trying to get the tranny out than, you know, I guess less hassle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking it apart, taking the starter off, disconnect all the connectors, and then start separating the tranny. So before I put the torque converter in, I replace the seal. And also I'm going to fill up the new torque converter before I stick it in. Alright, so I got the torque converter in. It's a bit of a struggle to get it into all the splines. I think there's 3 sets of splines in there. And also make sure you don't cut yourself like I did. And yeah, those teeth on the torque converter are sharp. So with the help of with an apprentice, we got the tranny in. Just had to loosen the cooler so it doesn't hit that pipe over there, and also removed this guy here, that little dampener. Also put the bolts back in on the engine mount. I haven't put the stud in, and yeah, we're pretty much golden. I can start putting stuff back together. Take the seat belt off. Thanks to my buddy here. You know, can't show his face, but he's giving you the thumbs up. Guys, everything's all assembled. Now I'm just gonna lift the table up, and all I have to do is line up these 4 holes on each corner, right, and put the bolts in, and that's pretty much it. I just got to clear the AC line, and then that's pretty much it. You know, coolant lines, that can worry you about later, and I have the shifter linkage just hanging up there, so I can put that back later. Yeah, so once it's in, it's pretty much done. I just got to reassemble all those other parts over there, and I'm yeah, almost there. So pretty easy. All right, everything is all situated. I just got to put these bolts back in on each corner, right? This thing is still, you know, kind of loose running around, so I can still kind of maneuver it around. Cleared the AC lines. I think that's the only thing I got to try and clear. Make sure the fuel line didn't get caught on anything, and yeah, that's it. And then we can start putting suspension back in. These torque converter bolts gets me every time, but you know, when you put one in and you start rotating it, the holes become off-centered, so you can't put the last few bolts in. Alright guys, so just so you don't make the same mistake I did, I forgot the one bellows housing bolt behind the engine mount down there. Which way? That behind that engine mount. So I'm taking this EGR just so I can tighten that bolt and then get my hand in there. So make sure you put that bolt in before you completely put the engine and transmission back into the car. So if you did forget, no big deal. You can actually get a flex head ratchet in there back behind there. Once you remove the EGR pipe. So yeah, just make sure you don't forget to put that in before you put the whole entire subframe and everything back in again. All right, everything's all back, suspension's back in, exhaust, drive shaft, and the only left is the plastic bits on top. And then yeah, let's go up top and finish what's left on the top side. Now we're up top. I want to work myself from left to right. You know, just put this stuff back in, put the harness. I think there's an engine mount that I got to bolt back up. It's just that one engine mount. Put the recharge the AC, fill the coolant, and while I still have everything out here, I'm going to fill up the tranny fluid. And yeah, other than that, you know, just some coolant lines. We got these coolant lines back here. There's the shifter cable. Where the hell did they go? Back there somewhere. I gotta find. Oh, here it is. Yeah, shifter cable, right? And then the positive cable for the battery terminal. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Let me get this put together, and then I'll bring you back once everything is all done. All right, guys, everything is all put in. I should be able to start this. I put the battery back in. I got the coolant filled. Right now, I'm just doing a vacuum leak test on the AC because I disconnected it, and I also put in the steering back in underneath the dash for the steering shaft. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and start it. All right, so I just want to start her up and check the transmission fluid. I put in like 5 liters, and it's like at the top of the dipstick. So here it goes. You can see when the battery disconnects, the needle stays at 0 and kind of goes around. That's normal. And yeah, just gonna go through the gears. Got spark. I'm gonna check the fluid, and then yeah, once the AC is all done, I am gonna take it for a test drive, make sure the steering wheel is straight, and yeah, I think that should be it. So yeah, in my opinion, I think dropping the whole entire engine and tranny with the subframe makes it a lot easier. There's like less of a struggle. You know, if you've done it before and you're trying to remove all the connectors, because the connectors go underneath the starter and stuff, and then there's the cooler lines and stuff in the back. I think it's just easier just to less stuff to remove, and then just drop the entire thing and then cherry pick it. And plus, having a apprentice to help you is also makes things a lot easier. So anyways, hope what I showed you helped in some way when any of you guys are doing your 6 speeds on your Hondas. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.